Hey, I'm Matt with Meat Church. Let's make these delicious beef party ribs. Super excited to get back to really traditional, hardcore Texas barbecue. We're gonna make something today that is really cheap, really easy to make, and really delicious. So what we've got here today is a rack of beef back ribs. And so, you know, not a whole lot of meat on these, but they're really cheap. So this is 23 bucks at our local H-E-B this week. We have cooked these whole on this channel before, and what made me wanna do this video is you guys loved that video. Our whole rack of beef ribs has almost 1 million views on this channel. We slathered it in some W sauce. We seasoned it with our seasoning and then sauced it at the end to make them super saucy, and you guys loved it. You guys also love our party rib video that is made with pork ribs. So we thought, let's combine the two and do this with a beef rib. So again, really cheap, really easy to do. It's just gonna be a really easy 2-step process. We're gonna cut these up, season them and smoke them in step 1. When we get a bark that we're looking for, we're gonna wrap them in a pan with some goodness and finish those off when they're nice and tender. Again, couldn't be any easier, so let's jump into it. First thing you're gonna do when you buy these whole, they're much cheaper this way. We're gonna flip them over to the back side so that we can see the bones, and we're gonna cut these up. I got a cool knife recently that I thought I'd bring in and give a friend of mine a shout out. You guys know I love Montana Knife, worked with these guys for a long time, but this, my friend Seth, the Bearded Butchers, gave me his new breaking knife. And I'm sure you all know the Bearded Butchers. I'm sure you follow those guys. They've got like a gajillion followers. And I'm like, why not use this to tell Seth thanks for the knife? So beautiful knife here. Ooh, got the little Bearded Butchers logo there. Seems like a good time to use it. I'm not quite the butcher that he is, but here we go. What you're gonna wanna do, I flip this again to the bone side so that you can kind of see where you're cutting. We're simply gonna cut kind of in between the bones here, separate these out. Just like that. I mean, even though not a ton of meat, kind of is a lot of meat, especially for what you're paying for these. All right, got them all cut up. All right, if you've got any carnage, just clean it up here. Now we're good to go. I'm gonna use a little mustard binder on these so the seasoning adheres. Classic barbecue binder, very popular in Texas barbecue. There's really not a lot of meat on the back. You can put the binder on the back if you want, but I'm really just focused on the top and the sides. Today we're gonna go with one of my most classic brisket seasoning techniques, which is 1-to-1 Holy Cow to Holy Gospel. Our Holy Cow is our popular brisket and steak seasoning. It's salt, pepper, and garlic. Our Holy Gospel originally started as a collaboration. It was Holy Cow mixed with the Gospel all-purpose. So this has a little bit of sugar in it, helps develop great bark. So I'm gonna go 1-to-1 with these seasonings. Again, very popular on brisket, so I think it'll be delicious on these. I wanna give these a little bit of a sweet flavor profile, which is why I'm using a seasoning that has a little bit of sugar in it. So I'm just gonna apply the Holy Cow, come back across that with Holy Gospel, but use whatever seasonings you like, whatever flavor profile you're desiring. All right, we're gonna come back across the top, exact same thing. And I like to use the Holy Cow first when I'm applying seasoning because there's bigger ingredients in it. Pepper helps catch smoke, so I always like to put down my more coarse seasoning in the beginning, and then I will come back over it with the more fine seasoning. I'm gonna kind of encourage it with my hands so I can turn these over and get the sides, and then I wanna let the seasoning adhere just a little bit. Use your block to pick up any of the additional seasoning that you kind of dropped around when you were seasoning. Take advantage of that. We're gonna let this adhere for at least 15 minutes. I wouldn't be mad at letting it sit an hour if you've got that kind of time. Great to prep stuff in advance and let it sit. Pull the moisture out of the meat, help develop really nice bark. And then after it's adhered, we're gonna jump over to talking about how we're gonna cook these. As you can see from the moisture here, the seasoning has adhered to these beef back ribs and we're ready to cook. So what I'm doing today is I'm cooking on an offset smoker. This is my mill scale 94-gallon offset. You can take this lesson and apply it to any sort of cooker you have. So if you're cooking on a pellet grill, Kamado grill, indirectly, whatever you want to do, the same thing will work. Just focus on the temperature. So I'm running a fire at about 275 degrees, and a little bit about my fire management technique. We do have a full video on offset smoker fire management technique, but what I do is I lay down a bed of lump charcoal, or you could use briquettes if they're hardwood. We actually have both of those. Put that in the bottom of the smoker and I get that lit, because you want the residual heat from that small fire. You don't want a big rip-in fire with lots of flames, the real harsh fire. So I start with lump charcoal and then I put wood splits on top of that. Today we are using post oak. Anytime I'm running an offset, I cook a Central Texas style barbecue, that's with post oak, but you could use mesquite, hickory, pecan, anything you like to pair with this. This is beef. It can handle, a heavier smoking wood if that's what you want. So for the first stage, we're gonna place these in the smoker at about 275 degrees, and we're gonna cook these until they're about 175 internal. So nice bark, and then we're gonna wrap them up. So in the first stage, we're at 275. It would be fine if you're at 225, 250. Go hotter if you're short on time, 300, 325, but at 275, this should take just over 2 hours to get us to that second stage. It's been about 2 hours and 20 minutes. The only thing that we have done with these ribs during that time is we spritzed them once with a mix of apple cider vinegar cut with a little bit of water, but that's it. And using our instant read thermometer, these are at about 175, but the main thing is that you can see the beautiful color and bark. That's really what we're looking for. So you've got the really pretty mahogany bark, not too dark, and you can see here, you're getting just a beautiful color from the Holy Gospel and the Holy Cow mixed together there, and that post oak smoke. I mean, they look delicious just like that, I'm not gonna lie. Let's move on to the really delicious stage. Okay, we're gonna load these in a pan. You can do this in foil if you want, but really I'm using a pan just based on the nature of the size of these beef ribs. They look like they'd fit good and they look pretty good to me. So here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna add some goodness to this. This could be your preference. The good thing about panning, whether it's pork shoulder, pork ribs, beef back ribs in this case, you can add moisture and delicious flavor into that mix. So what I think would be good is a little brown sugar, a little butter, our Holy Cola barbecue sauce, and I'm gonna add a little bit of honey just to thin the barbecue sauce out just a bit. We're gonna cover it with foil to go back in the smoker when all that liquid, all those fats and butters melt down in here. You're gonna be braising this stuff until it gets tender. I'm gonna start out with our Holy Cola barbecue sauce. And I think this is probably gonna take about a bottle, but that really depends on the size of your beef ribs. So you're looking to coat these things, but not really be swimming in a bunch of extra sauce. So just go to your preference. So I'm just gonna really coat them here. I got a little bit left in that bottle. Just decide how much you want. So I'm gonna add a little bit of honey. Boy, this is at the wrong end of the bottle. This would be a good time to mention that I saw on Instagram yesterday that this is not how you get the last out of ketchup or condiments. You're actually supposed to use some centrifugal force here. So I can't wait to see all of you in the restaurant doing this. My man Don that works on my team, he did this last night. He went to a Chili's and he was swinging his ketchup around like this and the lid came off of it and squirted the lady in the booth next to him. It's pretty awesome. All right, got what we were looking for. Thin it out here with a little of that honey. And then let's put in some sugar and butter, just however much you want, your preference. I'm gonna use the clean hand here. I don't want too much. Anytime I do pork ribs, beef ribs, I'm adding a little bit of sweetness, but I'm not wanting to go crazy. And I don't wanna add so much to where it's gonna burn. So again, however much you want, that was about a handful. I'm gonna put butter in here. I'm going with 1 stick. Nobody's gonna argue about too much butter. And like I always say, I ain't here to help you lose weight. So I'm not gonna toss these around. I'm actually going to cover this up with foil and go back in the smoker. I'll probably, after the sugar kind of melts down and the butter melts down, probably reach in and kind of toss them to make sure the beef ribs are fully coated but I'm just gonna throw these in there for now. This would be a good time to talk about the two different sides of foil. Back in the day, people would always say like, oh, you gotta put the dull side out, not the shiny side, because that'll deflect the heat. That is untrue. A different color of the foil is really just a product of how it comes off the machine. All right, we're wrapped up super tight, going back in the smoker. I'm gonna run the same temperature. If you're in a hurry, you can increase the temp, but let's put this in there, let this stuff melt down, and then we'll toss it again in a few minutes. We're on the road to tender, which is about 203 degrees more than likely, but we're gonna check that with our instant read thermometer, and when these are probe tender, that's when we know they're done. We'll spend about 2 more hours at the same temperature. We've been checking these along the way. I did toss them at one point in all the liquid like I said that I would. So we know that they're tender, but I'm gonna show you that now. So the meat is separating off the bone on some of them, which actually is quite handy. Gonna make it easy to eat. Man, they look awesome. They smell super good. And you've got all this residual juice in the pan. You can pour that across here, or kind of whatever you're wanting to do. Funny, down here on the end, they're like way meatier, so I think I want the smaller ones. But we use our instant read thermometer constantly just to kind of check these, and I'm looking for no resistance. So it's like 202. That's how I check these along the way. Just, nothing there, just like boop, just like no resistance at all. That's when you know that something is done. Well, I've let these cool off enough, I hope, because I'm ready to eat. So I decided I'm going with the one with the built-in handle on it to make things nice and easy. So even though they don't look like real meaty, you can see after they cook, there's a fair amount of meat on there. So here we go. Damn. That's actually like insanely good. You know when you have a beef rib or a brisket, Texas style, the way we cook it, you're expecting it to be salt, pepper, really beef and pepper forward. And obviously we don't use barbecue sauce in Texas on our beef traditionally, but adding that sweet element to this to intentionally drive these to more like a, in the style of like pork party ribs, dude, these are like so good. These are like candy. I was gonna say unique to have the beef style and the candy style, but the seasoning we started with holy cow, so you get that pepper, but then we added a bunch of holy gospel to balance it out with the sweetness. Is a banging flavor combination. But I'm such a huge fan of our holy cola barbecue sauce because it's a balanced barbecue sauce. It's really sweet, but not, I would say like not overly sweet. I kind of feel like this whole thing was a perfect flavor combination for that personally. I mean, I'm biased, they're my products, but you guys can, use whatever flavors you want, but I will tell you that this one that we laid out here is a winner. And going back to $23, like pretty good deal. If you made a smoker full of these at a party, you're looking at just over 4 hours cook time. Like that's a win. I would definitely put this on the list. To me, this is something that you can make, on the cheap, and people are gonna love it. And it was really easy to cook, really hard to screw up. Anytime you're putting something in a pan and you're foiling it, you're not gonna ruin it. The only thing you might do is either not cook it enough or maybe cook it too far, which is just gonna make it too tender, which was almost happening here. When I took that bite, it was very tender, but I was trying not to pull it off the bone, so I couldn't have took my time with it. But that is what I call banging. So 10/10 recommend. Appreciate you guys being here. Like and subscribe. Your subscriptions are how we keep doing these free how-to cooking videos. See you guys next week.